Hey YouTube, this is KP with KP Details, and today I'm showing you a thorough wash of the CX-5, the exterior. It has a carpeted wheel well in the front, which is more like a plastic material, and then you can see that I have some little bit of browning, grayness going on the tire. So first thing is first, I'm going to get everything wet, and what I'm using is Nano Skin non-acid wheel cleaner, and I use it for everything. So it's for wheel, tires, plastics, rubbers. It works great on everything. I've stopped using it in my bucket. I just diluted 4:1 in my Marilex sprayer. Then I'm using this big fender brush I found at Advanced or AutoZone, one of them. This one is a specialty brush from the Detail Factory. It's one of their newer brushes. Love it for the wheel and tire. And then this one is from Car Supply's warehouse. It's called the Easy Detail Big Easy Wheel Brush. And then I use a boar's head for the lug nuts and around the valve stem. This did take a couple of different tries to get everything clean. And then this little hand mitt for the back side of the spokes and really getting into the spokes, I found at Advance or one of the local auto supply stores. And I am doing this wash today with just a hose versus the pressure washer because my friend David asked me to do this wash specifically on a CX-5 and he does not have a pressure washer. So I used 2 ounces of Geon Bay there with probably 2.5 gallons of water. On the CX-5 and quite a lot of the SUVs, you have to take that little black part off in order to get the back wiper to actually stand up. Also, another part that I'm making sure to get is inside the gas cap. Well, I call it the gas cap, but this vehicle, as you can see, is diesel. This car was sitting under a tree. It's probably been 4 months since it's been cleaned. So it's gathered pollen and dust and whatnot in all those weird places that you were seeing under the doors and whatnot. When I'm rinsing out, I'm making sure to get where those rails are because I do get quite a lot of pine needles and other things in that area. Because I am 5'8", I do need to use a step stool or something similar to get up top. And then you can see I am washing off the excess dirt and pollen and whatnot off of the bottom of the doors. Another place on SUVs, minivans, really anything with a hatchback, even on trunks, you get it right there in that top part as well. I've showed you in some of the other videos. You get this. You just get all the gunk and whatnot gets stuck in this area, and you really have to make a concerted effort to actually get this area clean. So first thing to do is just wash it out with a light spray of water. You don't want to get too heavy or else you will get the inside of the trunk wet. And then I washed out also where the gas cap or diesel cap and DEF fluid filler is on this vehicle. Then I'm just going to rinse everything down. Made sure I did this, I think it was 7 o'clock in the morning, so that way it was not too hot and not sunny. I am using some multiple boar's head brushes in all of the seams to really just get all the dirt out in these nooks and crannies. Preferably pull out the handles to get underneath that as well. Get around the lights, get in all the seams, really just get in any of the places where if you've noticed on your other vehicles that you start getting crud, you get in there. I'm also using the brushes, as you can see, to get in that really crusty area up top that I showed you earlier that had all the pollen and whatnot. And from time to time, because these are some of the dirtier spots, I am rinsing out my brushes between, and I'm not putting it back in my bucket either. I did have some bugs on the front. Even though this says Geon bugs, it's not Geon bugs and grime in it. It is Sonax insect, which I prefer. To me, it does a much better job. So I'm going to spray the front end of the vehicle. I also spray the mirrors, and I'll spray the windshield because those are the areas where I typically have more stuck on bugs. Really anything that's hitting the bugs first is where you want to go. So I'm going to start from top down. I am starting up at the top, making sure that I can get all the way to the middle. And I don't want to have to move my little bench all that often. So I'm going to do, once I've finished the right hand side of the car on the top and I'm coming down, do the windshield, Did the wipers, as you can see, make sure to wipe that. Make sure to get into the little cowling area, get all of that cleaned out. If there was any debris and whatnot, get that out first. Do my hood. Do the inside of the doors. Make sure to wash that. It's on the inside of the door on both sides. And then once I am done washing everything, I use Geon Wet Coat because I did not want to wax it by hand, and this car is not coated. So even with just a hose, you can use Geon Wet Coat and it will add some beading and some UV protection to the vehicle itself. So this vehicle has never been coated, and like I said, it is 5 years old. It's a 2019 CX-5. You can use it on glass, rims, the fenders, really anywhere on the vehicle that's on the exterior. I don't necessarily spray it on the rubber for the tires themselves because that I do use a specific dressing for. But everything else, it does add a nice hydrophobic layer to it and get some of the blackness back, especially even on the plastics. You'll actually get a little bit of darkness and luster as a result of using the Geon Wet Coat. Next, I am going to dry this by using towels instead of, let's say, like a blower or something like that. Most people have the microfiber towels around. This one, I believe, is from the Rag Company, which is pretty big here in the States. And I love this towel. So specifically in this area, instead of using Geon Wet Coat because you can't really get a good spray in there, I'm using BC3, which is a combination rinseless wash slash topper slash polysiloxane topper for coatings, and getting it in there just so I don't get any staining and whatnot in this area. I'm not big on buffing in there afterwards because, as you can see, this is not really an area that you need to buff. So once I am done with that, next I am going to do the glass, and I do the glass on the interior. You can use either a rinseless wash, so in that container was Absolute, or my favorite window cleaner is the Stoner's Invisible Glass. So I'm using a microfiber glass towel from the Rag Company. A microfiber, it's supposed to have less lint, and I prefer this type of microfiber to do windows. So I'll go around the edges. Typically on the inside, I go up and down. And then what I'm going to do once I'm done on the inside is I flip that towel and then buff it to a shine. On the exterior, I'm using BC3 because it does add some hydrophobic quality. And then I use my same drying cloth and buff that to a shine. Now for the interior, for the invisible glass, I have my cloth again. You can see I started using my microfiber first on my infotainment, but it had a little product on it, and I do not use any products on infotainment because I've had the coating come off before. So I'm using this microfiber bonnet from the Invisible Glass folks. They have this reacher tool that I prefer to use, especially on my type of windshield where you have that really tight angle on the windshield, and it's really hard to get your hand down in there so you can get it clean. So I'll do a couple of sprays of the Invisible Glass. I will flip it so that the bottom side of the tool is on the wider side so the wider side is on the bottom. I'll go up and down, make sure to get all of the stains and haziness and whatnot that you're usually seeing on a windshield. And then once I go up and down on this half of the windshield on the inside, I flip the tool so that now my wide part is at the top, and I go back over it with this. Once I'm done with that, then I'll buff it to a shine with a dry microfiber. And last but not least is the tires. I'm using Jescar tire and plastics, I believe is what this product is. The applicator is something I picked up from an auto parts store. I just dab it out, and then I go around the entire perimeter of the tire and get it on. And I like this because it doesn't sling. If you are getting some graying on the inside of the fender like I have, you can see it on the right hand side. You can also add this product to the inside fender or like a trim shine or something. I prefer the aerosol ones for the fender, and that'll get you looking black. It really just gives it a nice pop. So this is the finished product. I think it looks fantastic. The wet coat really does give it just a nice shine. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and thanks for watching.